Welcome to the Mother May I podcast with Frank and Irene on Strong Island Entertainment. Gee, I hope I didn't make a mistake with these two. They promised me they'd bring in some really good guests. Well, anyway, here's Frank and Irene.
All right, welcome back to Mother May I podcast with Mr. Frank Conniff, and I'm Irene. There's only two of us here. Frank, looking as adorable as ever. How have you been? You been staying safe and trying not to get COVID? I'm guessing.
I have been staying safe. I did one show since I last saw you at the QED.
Yeah.
And they actually and it was like it was Saturday night when it was freezing outside, and there was actually a good turnout there, which was surprising.
Wow.
People want to go out and do things. They're, so that's good, I guess. But I just come, I take an Uber, I wear my mask, I do the show, and then I leave. I don't try to do anything too risky.
Yeah, I don't stick around anyway, Frank. So, but it's I'm going to use that as an excuse every time I leave a comedy show when I'm done. I'm just going to be like, you know what, it's COVID. COVID has become the 11th hour excuse, actually. And I know more people at this juncture with COVID than without, but it's like said, people are restless. They want to get out,
Yeah. And I think it's as long as they wear masks and are careful, I think it's a good thing. I think the world has to continue. Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. I couldn't agree more, Frank. Anyway, so we've got a very exciting show, Frank. Do you know this girl? I love this girl so much. She's been on the show before. The world knows this girl. She's an amazing actress, author, advocate, artist, and now filmmaker. Just an all-around awesome human being. I love her. My sister, Miss Jen Esposito.
Yay.
Jen!
Sound of 3 people clapping,
which is like a sound of a million when they care.
That's my average show that I do.
like it. 1, 2, 3, it's a gift.
3 it is, sweetie. So Jen, I can't even remember the last time I saw you, but I am just I don't even know what to say.
I know, it's insane. Are you, I just gotta ask, are you in a locker room? Are you in a men's locker room at the time?
No, everybody always is.
That's okay.
Jen, I fucking wish. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. I mean, it looks like you got one of those big medicine balls, and the man, like some naked man is going to
I was wondering what that was. That a bowling ball next to you?
No, that's my mic. That's my mic.
Oh, okay.
I wish I was in a men's locker room. I could use some vag stimulation. Sorry, honey. I was only kidding. But this looks like a sauna. People say sauna, but I like men's locker room. Jen, words cannot describe how much I miss you, and it's so great to see your face. How have you been handling this surge, with COVID?
I honestly, I'm at the point now. It's like, let's just all run around the street naked. I don't care.
Me too.
I don't care, whatever, because we can't live like we've been living. And one person says this, and the next day it's this, and the next day it's like, you're all idiots. You're all fucking idiots. Like I can't do this anymore. Like nobody really knows anything. Yeah. It's just beyond. It's just beyond.
But if you run naked, be sure to wear your mask. That's all I ask.
Well, of course, but only if you're in between day 1 and day 6, and if you had a negative COVID test, but you don't have a negative COVID, and then you can run around the house at least 6 times. But it's just like it's asinine at this point. It really, really is. But if you do have COVID, definitely, if you're a nurse, definitely go to work. Definitely go to work.
Definitely go to work. You know what it is? It's like you're right, Jen. You know what? We cannot live like this. Frank and I, we just said that up top. We have to live our lives. Look, I don't want to. I had COVID. I was telling Frank
and Jen. I didn't realize that. You didn't tell me that.
We had the Delta variant. We were all so busy. We haven't seen each other. And I got incredibly sick. Now they say the Omicron is a little, it's like the diluted version of the Delta variant, but people handle it differently. I think we are safe. We have to continue living. Businesses need to thrive. We need to thrive. We need to see
everyone needs to just live. I mean, honestly, I'm not making light of it at all. It's a bug. It's a bad bug. It's a bad virus, and eventually we're all going to probably get it. So I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say at this point.
Yeah.
It's
You just gotta take your vaccines and stuff so that when you do get it, it's the difference between if you're fully vaxxed and boosted and you get it, it fucking sucks. It's horrible. You get really sick and it's a terrible flu. And it's an awful thing to happen. But if you get it when you're not vaxxed and boosted, then it's a tragedy. You're going to go to the hospital, and you might very well die. And so that's
Did you
why
have it,
everybody.
Frank?
What?
Did you have COVID?
No, I yelled at my agent about it, but he said COVID decided to go in a different direction.
Isn't that? It's
yeah.
always the way. It's
Yeah.
always the way.
So even COVID I can't get,
Well,
That's how bad my career is going.
Good one.
Yeah. But so yeah, people need to get vax. And I just sent away yesterday to covidtest.gov, I think it is, and very easy
I got
to
that too.
yeah, very easy to sign up. It takes less than a minute, and I'm going to get my free tests
Yep.
in the mail.
Yep. I know.
And
What is that, Frank? Is that the same? Is that a rapid test? I'm just curious because
that I don't know,
Right.
but I assume it's something like that.
Well,
But
I hope I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've always done poorly at tests, so
Oh.
I'm a little trepidatious about it. But
Well, I hope they explain it really well because I think
Yeah.
everybody's going to do poorly in this test because you have to take it at a
Yeah.
certain time, then test again.
Oh,
I got a false negative. Well, at least it wasn't a pregnancy test and I didn't have to get an abortion, sweetie. So I was happy about that. But
would have been bad.
but it is pretty fallible, so you have to be careful. Anyway, enough about COVID for now. I want to stick to what's really important, what's really inspiring, and something that I really want you to explain to everybody listening, and especially to Frank, because I know Frank has been confused with the notion of not only Bitcoin, and I am too, Frank. I'm not just saying you are, but okay, first, let me just say that Jen has been working on a script for many years now. It's a brilliant script. I read it. It's absolutely such a stellar, amazing, strong script about women. It's empowering. It's everything that anybody would want to see. Okay. And you did a very untraditional thing with the way that you funded this script, which is going to be made soon. And I can't wait. I'm so excited for you. The world needs to see this movie, but you did this through NFTs. Now, my very limited knowledge of NFTs is that it's sort of like an investment. It's sort of like Robin Hood on steroids, so that people that are filmmakers are not, or artists, because now artists, I see that people are selling their art. There's so many different directions you can go with the NFTs, that they are able to have this platform and raise money and have investors, and they're not beholden to big money. Now, Jen, tell us about your fantastic film, Fresh Kills, Staten Island.
I love the title.
Thank you.
I love the title too. I don't know if I told you that, but I really love I live right near Fresh Kills, Frank. Literally, I live in Fresh Kills. Steve is very romantic, the barbecue house. But Jen, tell everybody in the most basic terms what an NFT is.
Okay, but first, to go back, the film wasn't completely financed by NFTs. There's a whole other component to it. But at the end of the day, it's basically all prostitution.
Okay, at the end.
Yeah. Basically, I've been prostituting myself. No,
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
Honestly, Frank, that would have been kind of easier than the road to making any independent film. So listen, so basically we wanted to go an alternative route than the average independent route, which is go around town and fucking beg people for money. And then they say, well, who's in it? And if it's not one of 10 guys that means something monetarily, and not one of 3 women, Nicole Kidman being one of them, as you can see, she's in everything. She's literally
Lucy was such a right role for her, wasn't it, Jen? I mean, she's just perfect for I Love Lucy, for Lucille Ball.
I have no words, nothing against a woman, but it's like there's 3 women that get green light anything, and then there's about 10 men. And if those people aren't in your project, then you can screw yourself about getting money. And it's just, it's such an antiquated system, and I've always known it, but getting really in it, because I've been trying to get this movie made for about a year and a half. Like when I say year and a half, I mean every day on the phone, on Zooms and this, and I've had the script and been working on it for 10 years. So I feel like at this point I've been through a war. Yes, we're about to film in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
But the bruises,
Congrats.
yeah, thank you. But the bruises are deep. And so what we tried to do, we tried to go a different road, because I thought I'm always out there like equal rights and female voices, and it didn't help that I was a female first-time director, and it didn't help that my script was predominantly females, and it was basically taking a look at the mafia genre in the female perspective, which we've never seen. And that's why a lot of people were interested in the script, but it needed a big male lead. So I said, we have to go an alternative road.
Not only a big male lead, Jen, and I've been there with you through this process, but also the top 1% that I call of acting and entertainment, the right kind of woman, you know, which Frank, you'll be happy to know that this film, it not only has Odessa Azion and Emily Bader, but Annabella Sciorra is in this.
Oh, I love her.
Which we love, right?
Such a great actress.
And this
Fantastic.
Is Jen. And this is Jen. So go ahead. I just wanted to add a little to that.
So basically, I said, like, I have a problem with hypocrisy. It's always been a real issue for me. So I can't be out there, you know, screaming for female, you know, rights. And then if we did get one of these male lead actors, we would have to give them 80 times more pay, and they'd be working 5 days, then to give our girls, and they'd get scale, which is like $3,000 a week. So I was like, I can't do this. So we went alternative roads. That's a whole other story, but I'll get into NFTs. So NFTs, we actually have, for anybody who gets an NFT, we have actually another drop coming, which is five pieces of artwork from not only fine artists, but also music producers. So they're putting the music to the artwork based on my work, and it's going to be on OpenSea, which is the biggest NFT platform. It's going to launch next week, and every single dollar goes towards the film.
I want to draw something for you, Jen. I want to make something for you.
You should absolutely. Okay, so let me get into it. I'm going to make it really easy. An NFT is a non-fungible token. So I get it. You're already lost. But here, let's think about it this way.
Fungible token. I knew that, but I still don't know.
It's basically like a digital receipt. So now what that is, I'm going to make it so simple. You have $1. That dollar is interchangeable with another dollar. And there's $50,000. And we have all these dollar bills. But if Prince were to have signed one of those dollar bills, that dollar bill is different than the rest of those dollar bills. That dollar bill is worth more. So basically, what the NFT community, it's going to be a receipt. It's going to be something that is ownership, and you will be able to see because of the blockchain. The blockchain, literally, we all are old enough to know when we didn't have internet. And when people were talking about the internet, we were like, what the hell? What, you're going to turn on something and you can Google? What the hell is Google? Like, I can speak to someone. You were like, what the hell? This is next. The NFT, the blockchain is next. And
I've heard the phrase blockchain all the time, and I hope you'll explain it to me, because I have no idea what that means.
It's basically a person-to-person, computer-to-computer way of getting to each other. So for instance, Instagram. I want to make a product on Instagram, and I want to promote my brand, and I become an influencer. You still have to put it on Instagram. The blockchain allows person to person. The blockchain is going to allow the middleman to take a freaking hike. Now, what that means is so enormous for the people, for the artists that have to go, like a musician has to go to a studio and sell they have to give up their rights to their material so the big guy can sell it. The big guy makes so much money. The artist makes change. The person buying it makes nothing. With the blockchain, with an NFT, I can be a musician and say, I'm going to sell you this NFT, And that is going to be like your receipt that you're purchasing to get involved with my music.
Okay,
Now,
I have a question.
when that music starts to do well, I make residuals. They also benefit off of it. So it literally changes the game.
Right.
I can't even tell you how much it changes the game.
Right. So the NFT is a non-fungible token. It's like a coin, Frank, like sort of like
it's a digital receipt. It's a digital receipt, and it's usually, Frank, I'm going to say this, it's usually a key that unlocks something else. So say, for instance, you know, like the Soho House, the Soho House is like a club.
Right.
And there's one in New York, there's one in Paris, there's one here. Well, if they said, okay, we're going to do another kind of London house or New York house, and it's going to be all these places. But the way you unlock it is by buying this NFT. So for instance, my drop that's coming up with these amazing artists. So one of the paintings, you like, oh, wow, that's great art. But what do you get with that art? You know what you're going to get with that art? You're going to get benefits into my movie. So one of them, you can get a walk-on role. One of them, so it's rewards. You will get rewards from that digital contract. But what this does, like I said, it takes the middleman out of your pocket. It takes it out of your art experience. It takes it out of your everyday world, because the middleman is in every aspect of what we're doing, if you think about it.
Right. So, it's like your fan base is investing, it's worldwide. And also, like the other thing that you answered, but what I was wondering is, so the investment is high. So you make money predicated on how well each product does. It's like an investment. It is an investment.
No, but so do they. So for instance, like, okay, so someone's going to buy my NFT next week because they want the picture, but they also want the perks. But then my movie goes and does Sundance, and we get an award, or we go here, we get released, it becomes really big on Netflix. They can take that piece of art and sell it. I just bought an NFT, right? I just bought, there was a project I was watching, and it's a very famous artist. He drew these adorable characters, and he's going to now, he has a TV show he's making off these characters. The frenzy to get these NFTs was insane. I managed to get my hands on one of them. The amount of money that I've been offered for it already is a joke, but I'm holding it because I know that this is going to become a TV show. So I hold it. And like you said, that's an investment.
It's an investment. Exactly. It is an investment. It's like, I have one, I have an Ethereum, for example, right? It goes
that's
up.
Crypto. That's crypto.
That's crypto, but it's an investment like that. But it sounds like these things are so unique. Like the fact that you own that one, what is it? That piece of artwork.
Yes.
You know, somebody might say like, how is that like unique? You know, whatever, because there's only one like it, and you own it. Only one.
And it's in the contract. There's only one contract that has that you own it. And if I do sell it, that contract goes to the next seller. But what it does for the artist, they keep making residuals off of that. So say, for instance, like Quentin Tarantino just did a big launch of his NFTs for one of his big movies, right? And he got in a lot of trouble because Miramax was like, wait a minute, I also own that. Because artists today, I don't know who, I'll tell you one, Spike Lee. Spike Lee is one person that owns his material. Most artists, you don't own your film, your music, you don't own it. The companies own it. So why I fell in love with this space, because I am not a tech person, I'm not. But what I am a power to the people person, and the drastic difference between the haves and the have-nots has to stop. This space stops it. Ordinary everyday people are becoming billionaires because they're in this space with cryptocurrency and NFTs. It is absolutely the future.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to ask you this question. I want to know, like, do you think that somebody who's who's not known can actually get involved in here and start making a lot of money? Or is it seems like it's
there are kids that live in their parents' fucking basements that are making more money than all of us put together, man. Like crazy. And you don't need a lot of money to start. You just need, you need to know and start to get into it. And, you know, people have asked me, like, how do you start to learn? You just start to learn. You got to invest the time and read and understand and get on it. And really, you got to get in there and really understand. And like I said, if you would have just posed this to me as like all this technical stuff, I would have been like, blah, blah, blah. But it's the behind it that I love. It's the behind it that it really speaks to me, because I don't know about you guys, but like the fact that I still pay insane taxes, but fucking Amazon isn't paying their share because they worked it out somehow. No, this equals shit out. It equals shit out from the haves and the have-nots.
great equalizer. Frank, go ahead.
Well, I was, it's really fascinating. And I still don't really understand it, but I have to say that I'm 100% behind anything that, like you said it eliminates the middleman, and my way of putting it would be it eliminates the gatekeepers. And
there you go.
I'm all for, and I'm involved in a lot of stuff, and I make my living from stuff that doesn't involve one gatekeeper at all. And that's the beauty of the digital age that we live in, is that people can take the power unto themselves and can forge their own path. And you mentioned musicians too. You know, I mean, for a musician, I don't know if there's any musician now who really makes a living from a traditional way of getting a record contract and touring and selling records. That doesn't exist anymore. All of the musicians or the musical artists that I follow and that I'm a dedicated fan of, they all have Patreons, and they're all like constantly putting stuff out on the internet. And it's just a whole different thing. And it's such a struggle for people. And it is, with all you're saying, it is all very challenging. And it's not like you'll easily become a billionaire in your mom's basement, you know, but it's very challenging. But it's such a great thing that, you know, when in the 1980s, when I was younger, there was only the traditional traditional mass media, the traditional you know, I mean, I self-publish books now. If I wanted to self-publish like 30 years ago, I would have had to print them all out myself and then drive from bookstore to bookstore to bookstore. I mean, that's why I didn't do it back then, you know, but I am doing it now.
And you're not, and also you're not going to be censored as well. You know,
right. And I have complete creative freedom, which I love.
And also freedom. And you know what? It infuriates me and enrages me to no fucking end that most people on Spotify, comics included, okay, on Spotify don't make any goddamn money at all. If you're not Joe Rogan, you don't see a fucking dime for your art on Spotify as a comic, an artist. And this is a great way of getting that out into mainstream.
Like Irene, seriously? No, so now something is the metaverse is coming. And again, it's like, holy shit, now what are we talking about? So just the way when people said, oh my God, we're going to have a phone and we're going to be able to see each other in the phone. And it was like, oh, Jesus.
My mother's been saying that.
I'm telling you, now the metaverse is going to be like, you can have your own fucking comedy club in the metaverse. Like you can have your own workout place in the metaverse, where you can literally teach your classes for people all over the world with just them putting on a little eyeglass thing. We are going to be able to reach each other without the middleman.
Without the middleman.
Without the gatekeeper. And I also use that, Frank, because to me, Hollywood has been nothing but a gatekeeper.
Exactly.
And the way they've set up the structure, they don't want it to change.
They don't.
Because it works for them. So this is a really, really, really incredible new way of getting things done for everybody. And again,
and I think a lot of the old media people, and I've been very slow because I am an old media person, they're really slow to catch on, and they look at like YouTube stars as the fringe, And meanwhile, like 100 million people are watching the YouTube people, and 500,000 people are watching a show on CNN.
That's
you
right.
know.
Right. And also TikTok. Look what happened with TikTok.
Yeah.
Putting out their own fucking content. You're right. We can cut out the middleman. You know, there's just so much we can put out our own content, not only to have artistic freedom, but monetary freedom. Because Jen and you and I used to talk a lot this
I
time.
was just gonna say we talked about it all
Lateral
the time. I used
movement.
to tell you
Jen.
all the time, Irene.
Yeah.
Screw that road. Go
that.
do your own shit. That's why I started writing my own shit, because I was like, I can't stand the shit that I'm seeing. Well, but stop complaining, Jennifer. Do something about it.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you know, if people are starting their own virtual comedy clubs, it'll give me something new to be resentful about when I don't get booked into them.
Exactly. But you could start your own, Frank.
Right. But I might not even get booked into that. I mean,
yeah,
anyway.
don't worry about it, Frank. You know what? Then there's going to be another step that you can take. I want to pedal back. I want to just go back a step and say, people think that they're going to be befuddled by the NFTs, but I actually was looking into it. And it's not as fucking hard as you think. Honestly,
it's not crazy. Listen,
they give you a step by step on how to do it, literally a step by step. So if you can, I've done these overwhelming Herculean things. I've fixed electronics. I've set up computers. I'm not a technical person. Why? Because I had very detailed instruction. So I don't want people to be dissuaded or frightened by tackling.
I hope everybody comes and joins my NFT drop next week. Seriously. And basically what it is if you have a Coinbase account, or you get a Coinbase account, you have to put some money in there, and you would buy a coin called Ethereum. And that Ethereum would then be transferred over to something called a MetaMask wallet. It's just like a digital wallet. And you transfer some Ethereum over the MetaMask wallet. You connect MetaMask to OpenSea, which is the huge platform that does NFTs. And there you go. And you wind up in the movie with me.
That's right. See,
really not that difficult. It's really not that difficult.
I mean, look, I literally was looking it up a couple of days ago because I knew we were going to be talking about it. And it was surprisingly,
it's not
much
crazy
easier
hard.
than I thought. It was
it's not crazy hard. For someone like my mother, I said, I'm doing this other drop with NFTs. She said, who did you get? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, the NFL. What player did you get? That's a different, no joke. She literally, the NFL is helping you?
The NFL, well, maybe the
I just said yes.
Yes, this is what I love, because it eliminates the lateral movement, the top 1% in Hollywood, and there is that top 1%.
Anywhere. It eliminates. You know what's great? And I really do mean this. And Frank, you said before, it's not going to take overnight for some kid in his basement to make money. You're actually not right, because some of these NFTs that they flip, for instance, okay, it's called getting on the whitelist or getting in early in an NFT. So if you get on the whitelist and you buy some art piece for, say it's a couple $100, what happens is it's a lot about FOMO. So people get excited. They're flipping these NFTs for thousands and thousands of dollars. They're making so much money.
It is all about FOMO. People do not want to lose out. It's true.
Especially in that community. In that community, it's all about the FOMO. All about the FOMO.
Right. Wow. And you know what? It's gonna take off just like TikTok and every other platform took off. You know what I mean? People are gonna get involved. It always seems very daunting. Yeah.
It is. I'm telling you guys, it is the future. The whole metaverse, the blockchain is one of those technologies like that you're like, oh, the cell phone, the internet. It's basically Web 0.3 is what it is.
Yeah. It is. It certainly is. And I was just reading something that somebody was starting their first restaurant in New York City with NFTs. Their own restaurant.
Everyone is doing something with NFTs. The people there's only 7% of the population that really is in it now, but you're going to see it's going to be everywhere.
Right. And I have seen it. I got a little sickened with Melania Trump posting her a picture of herself on NFTs. But basically it's ubiquitous and it's the way of the future. I really believe that. Well, I don't believe it. It's the way that things are, you know, and the way that they're moving. So now I want to talk about the film a little bit. Now that we had that long explanation, and thank you so much for really explaining that for us, and everybody who's listening. So tell me about the film. So you are going to be shooting in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's just me sitting in a room, basically.
Okay.
I don't know why people thought that was a weird idea. No, it's the female's point of view of these mafia films that we've seen since the beginning of time, and they keep making more of them. Every day I hear about a new male-driven mafia movie, and they're like, oh, yeah, oh, there's going to be a new show with Sylvester Stallone. He's going to be the mafia. Brilliant. And it's like, oh my God, didn't we see this story? I love Sylvester Stallone. I'd love to see it. But do we ever see what happens to the females? And not the females that are like, we're going to get involved in the mafia. Let's get a gun. Like, that's bullshit. That does not happen.
And let me just say something. I got to say this, Jen, you're right, because now there's a lot of movies like that are having like the equivalent male, except it's a female acting like the male character in a mafia movie.
Faux feminism. It's called faux feminism. Now let's give girls guns and make them it's like, honestly,
I've watched every Netflix movie about a hot female assassin who wants, and they're all the same plot. She's a hot female assassination. She was brought up to be an assassin. She wants to leave the elite assassin agency. And then when she leaves, the elite assassin agency tries to kill her. And then it turns out that and in every movie, her most trusted friend is the bad guy who's been trying to kill her the whole time. They all have exactly the same plot.
Go pitch that. Go pitch that. It's sold. Sold.
And I'm like the biggest audience for that. I watch all of them.
And honestly, there's an audience and it's fine, but can we do something else? But what it kills me, it goes onto that faux feminism of like, look, now we're strong because we have guns. And it's like, why don't we actually make some real stories about women? Like really from women, directed by women, the way women actually talk and think, and you know, my characters are flushed out and complex and not nice and brilliant and not brilliant and
complicated, like people in real life.
Complicated.
And I like to amplify what you said. By women, directed by women, which was a conflict and an obstacle that you had to overcome in your own. You know, you could put this film out, but then you weren't able to direct it. And that's
I was told if you have a male director, this will go quicker. It's like, well, that's not going to happen. So
yeah, good for you.
Yeah, no, it's been a hell of a journey. I'll tell you that much.
The power, sister. I love it. And you stayed the course. And guess what? No one's going to say it's going to be an easier road, but it is the only road. If you want to stay the way,
definitely not an easier road. I mean, the times I've cried this year and a half is you know, and I like I said, I can't even. But it's also very disappointing because, you know, you put something out there publicly and you expect the people that say they champion female content and champion female directors and and then they do nothing and don't show up. Very disappointing.
Well, I've seen that firsthand too, and nothing surprises me. It's you know what, it's like you said again, pseudo feminism, and it comes in all forms. You know,
100%.
If you really want to help each other, then you definitely have to be behind this, because you know what, it is a tough road, and every woman should have the same right. Like every person should have, we want to stop gerrymandering and voter suppression. Every woman should have the same right to put their artwork out and be at the helm 100%. Of their own artwork.
100%, but it's just real. It's really
well, you know, in our society, a lot of people don't even want women to direct their own body, much less a movie.
Hello, there you go. We're still fighting about that.
That's right, Frank. That's right, Frank.
Seriously.
One day I will sleep with you, or at least give you a reach around. Let's just make that.
Wow. This is the best podcast ever today.
Because you get it. And that is a very important fucking thing, what Frank just said. Women do not even, in the most simple terms, have fucking control over their own bodies.
I can go into this conversation like we think, oh, look how far we've come. Please.
Oh, we're going backwards, if anything.
Backwards. Yeah. It's like, it's just, that's why I say the faux feminists would like, here, throw them one of those movies where they can all look really cute They get a gun and they're like, look, females, we were playing.
Well, I'm gonna give you one example, and I can't believe I'm doing it, but I'm gonna fucking do it. I don't care. Now, Rachel Curran, I think we all know who Rachel Curran is. She's an extraordinary artist. I one time went to her show, and she had these monumental life-size Victoria's Secrets models with busted faces. Now, I'm going to say something because she told me this and I couldn't believe what she was telling me. Gloria Steinem actually went to her show and criticized her artwork because she said it exploited women. And I fucking lost my shit. I'm like, I've always loved Gloria Steinem. I've loved what she's done for women. I've always loved her, but I disagreed vehemently with her for saying this to Rachel. And I said, fuck that. I don't give a shit who she is. No one has the right to say that you're exploiting women with these arts. I mean, the faces were busted. It showed how hurt women were being exploited in this industry, but how their faces were inconsequential, how they were anonymous, how they were bruised and beaten down. And I was really shocked. But
you know what? That's the beauty of art.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of art. Everybody has a different opinion about it, whether or not you should say it to the artist. I don't know, but everybody can have a different opinion about women, art.
Though. She had faceless women because that's how women are treated and how they're beaten down in that industry. They're treated like fucking, they're treated like a piece of meat, you know? The fact that the faces were all bruised and discombobulated was a depiction of how women feel.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that because just hearing you describe it, you can kind of tell what the point of the work was, and just Gloria Steinem's seems like an incredibly shallow interpretation of it.
Right. I was shocked. Believe me, you know, that's why we need people like in Jen. I can't, you know, first of all, it's no secret how much I love Jen. And I love Jen because of her heart, her fortitude. I love the fact that she is a leader. I love the fact that I've known her and I can honestly say her heart and mind and soul are completely aligned. There is nothing bullshit about you, Jen. I love you so much. And I'm so proud of you because I know that, you know, that this has been a very, very difficult path for you. It's been so hard. I've been there when you've cried. I've been there when you've been furious. I've been there with you many, many times. And I've seen how hard you had to stay the course and how you had to fight. You had to roll up your sleeves, dig in your fucking heels. And I just want you to know that
my own fucking movie. This is no joke for me. This is no joke for me. But to me, you know, I also had to take a look at myself and it's like, I'm going to ask anybody to believe in me. I believe in me. Fuck that. I believe in me. I back me. And because I back me, I'll get this done. Because I don't expect anybody to do anything for me in this business.
Right.
Or in this world.
Yeah.
So you can make something happen. You got to make it happen. Period. And
make it happen. Absolutely. And you know what? The most important thing is that you really have to believe in yourself. You know, you really have to say, you know what, I don't care. This is who I am, and this is what I'm going to put out. And that's
the story. You get it
breaking out too, because you're following who you are. If you're going to be like everybody else, like Frank said, you know, he's putting out all his books. He's doing the way he's not beholden to anybody editing him with his books. Frank, I've always been really impressed that you do that. And so this way you get your voice unfiltered.
Right.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, for years, you know, I wanted to go to NYU when I was a kid and I wanted to go into film studies, but I didn't have the money and I thought acting. And I was so painfully wrong, but you know, you do it and then you're in it and you're just like, I've never fulfilled. And I have to say, as hard as this has been, to sit with my heads of department and I'm in charge of the way this looks, the way it feels, the way it sounds, the way I finally feel so completely fulfilled and at home. Like
that's awesome.
This is where I was supposed to be. I'm supposed to be telling stories, creating story, creating character. And as an actor, you're basically paid to show up and speak someone else's lines. There's really no creativity there. Creating another person and everything, but it has to do with something that someone else wrote. So for me, this has been
liberating.
It's home.
It's freedom too. It's such freedom. It's amazing.
And you know what? I've found that when you do your own thing and it's your own personal project and you're putting it out and nobody's asking you to put it out, but you put it out anyway, is that you really have no choice but to believe in yourself, because if you don't, because there's no publicist, there's no there's no one, whose job it is to advocate for you. It's your job to do it. So if I didn't believe in what I was doing and believe that it was good, I wouldn't be able to, put it out in the world and promote it. And it's like doing my own thing has really brought that out in me because, for years, I had such incredible self-doubt about whether I had what it took or whether I was an imposter or, it's taken me forever to overcome that. And now finally I'm at that, I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just believe in myself? That'll be a nice change of pace compared to the way I used to be.
Exactly. But you know what I think also comes from being in these businesses that we have chose is that, I never didn't believe in me, but because you're pushed into such a box for so many freaking years and told what you should be, shouldn't be, should do, what you look like, and you see the world going by you and you have to make a living and you take shit and it little by little scrapes your soul away.
It does.
It kills you
one day and go, where am I?
Yeah, who am I? A bigger question, who the fuck am I? And the truth is, Jen, that, sorry, I was in the middle of a sentence. Oh, the truth is that you're absolutely right. And, that's one of the things that really resonates with me as a comic, because I was told you swear too much. You shouldn't even dress like that, because I always dressed a certain way in the beginning of comedy too. You swear too much. You're saying this is inappropriate. And I always stayed the course. And now I'm at a point where I can put out my own shit. You know what I mean? Like you, I think I always believed in myself. When I first moved to New York, I also made a film. I never made a film before. I researched it. It was done on Super 60.
I saw it. I loved it.
Super 8 animation. Actually, I got it in a film festival in March. I couldn't believe it. Out of the blue it happened. But the point is that I, like you, said, you know what? I don't care. No one's going to tell me I can't make a film. I'm going to research the shit out of it. And I'm going to put this film out because I can. And some people say it's really, really dark. It's about heroin addiction. Heroin addiction's fucking dark. You don't like the film, go watch it.
But that's again, it's like art is art. You take what you get from it. Some people have beauty and love and beauty in darkness. Like my film is not light, but there's beauty in humanity. And like I said, we've all, as a culture, we have conformed and pushed, and this is what a woman should look like. This is what a man should look like. This is what a good girl looks like. This is what a good day is. Fuck that. Like, do you think, who would we be if all of these fucking conditions weren't set forth before us? And that's why I'm telling you, I bring it back to this blockchain. It is a sense of freedom that I'm telling you, I don't think we've experienced in a very, very long time. It allows for you to be able to go and fund these smaller projects. It allows to be able to go peer to peer, because people may love your independent that you did, because there's a following for people that were addicted to drugs.
Look what happened. It just circled back after like freaking 30 years ago. I made this film and it circled back. Like you said, it's just putting control. You're not beholden to big people that are like this little nucleus of people that are like given all the opportunities. And I know it is the way life is. Now there's no excuse. We can actually go out and put our own work, which is great. So Frank, I think like it's safe to say that blockchain equals freedom.
Yes.
Don't even laugh, because I had to write a little, because we have a press release coming out about our drop, and literally, Irene, I'm not exaggerating. Wait.
Yeah. Tell me, girl.
The NFT space to me is freedom. Freedom for the artist and freedom for the people who take part in that journey of that NFT. It exactly is.
I love it. I really, really love it. And I'm so excited for you. Now, because we're going to be wrapping up soon, I need to know, tell me, so give me some of the other elements of the film. Tell everybody who's going to be in it, what part they're playing. This is exciting.
First of all, are you going to be in it is what I want to know.
I am.
Yay.
I honestly, I really love being behind the camera and creating, but it's a role that, like, it's kind of an exorcism. It's someone I know in my life, and it just needs to come out. So I play a role, Francine, the mother of two young girls. We see them at three parts in their life: as young children, as teenagers, and then a little bit older teenagers. And it's basically the view of learning what voice they can have in the world they were born into, which is a mafia family. And it's really it's basically finding your voice, a female voice in a male dominated world, and what that does to each other, and the alliances that are made, and the bonds that are broken, because what if you decide that you don't want where you were born into, and the trouble that makes in your
and what struck me with that movie, what really why I really loved it, is like also the guilt, and also the ability to say, to say, you know what, don't judge us, because everybody judges those women in the mafia movies. Like, how could you be with somebody like that? How can you stay that? So there's this fine balance between feeling guilty but feeling loyal to your family like anybody else would, and like this overwhelming amount of judgment towards these women.
That's right. And
so
you read a script, like I can't even tell you how many transformations.
I know, I've read every pass, everything that
you didn't read this last pass. Like I just got finished yesterday. It's insane. It's tight. It moves. It's heartbreaking. I love it so much. It's like the air I breathe. I cannot wait to get on set. The young girls that we have playing the two, I mean, it's just, like you said, Odessa Azion, who is a sick talent. She's been in a bunch of stuff that you'd probably know. Emily Bader is another one. Annabella Sciorra. We're in talks for hoping that a guy that you would know is playing Joe. Just incredible cast I have. Incredible cast. So I'm
That's
very
awesome.
fortunate.
That's amazing. And you know what's beautiful about that cast? I want to see them more. You know, that's the other thing. I love unknowns. I love young people that we don't see that often. I love
these. Let me tell you, these
traditional
girls. That Odessa's been in a bunch of stuff, but she's got huge movies coming out. She's like I said, she's a fantastic actress. And Emily was just a lead in something called Paranormal Activity.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also Annabella Sciorra, we love her.
Annabella, when I told her about this, like she needs this role, meaning we need her to do this role, because she had her legs cut off at a certain point from her situation, and she's such a talented woman. She deserves to get back in there and really.
She's great. She was so great on The Sopranos, that whole arc that she had.
Amazing. She's going to be amazing in this. It's a role. It's something she can really sink her teeth into.
And she, I mean, I just saw her at the reading a long time ago, and she knocked it out of the park just when she did the reading, Jen. So I'm so excited to see her. I am obviously so excited for you. I love you. I'm so proud of you. I think
thank you.
Needs to see this movie. It's so relevant and so important and so brilliant. So sweetie, you want to plug anything before we wrap it up?
Yeah, go to OpenSea next week and buy an NFT, and I'll see you on set. I mean, seriously, there's, first of all, the artwork is beautiful. It's original music that's with the artwork, but what it does is gets you involved in the film. And it's not only about me, it's about supporting. We have a female NFT artist, which is very rare. And it's about supporting female driven content, and we're going to give 5% back to another female driven content piece that's coming after us. So yeah, support.
Brilliant. Yay, I'm so excited. Frank, you got anything that you want to plug, sweetie?
Well, the next Mads Are Back live streaming movie riffing show will be the second Tuesday of February. And with Trace Blieu and I, and it's, as always, it's going to be really fun, and it's only $10, and people can go to themadsarback.com and check that out.
Awesome. I love it. I love that riffing show. You're amazing in it. Also, we're doing our show, Frank, on February 26th. Me, you, and John Fugelsang are back. We're doing a show at the Duplex. And I also have a solo show coming up at the Cabaret in May 8th, actually. May 14th. Sorry, May 14th. But I'll be posting all that. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thanks. Great to see you, Jennifer.
Love you, Jennifer.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Mother May I podcast with Frank and Irene on Strong Island Entertainment. Check us out next week when Frank and Irene sit down with, you know what? I don't know what these two are going to do next, but we'll see you next week.